Hello, everybody. So I had shared my Mother's Day haul with close friends on Instagram, and then I went to post about today's live, and it was like, with only your close friends, and I'm like, oh shit, fuck, I need everybody to know this.
This is a group announcement. PSA.
This is the public service announcement. Everybody needs to know that we're here.
Very important information. I ate too many chicken nuggets. I ate another one during the timer. I just didn't think about it. I was like,
I cannot have food within arm's reach of me, or I will just keep eating it. Does not matter how full I am. Does not matter how sick I am. I'm just like, it's there. I'm gonna eat it. So I feel that.
And then also the opposite. If there's no food in like eye line or arm's reach, I'll forget about it. Forget about eating. I'm like, oh shit. Double-edged sword.
Entertain chat for me for a sec.
Okay. Hello, chat. I had filming late last night, and I was playing a monster. I was playing a person who gets killed, and then the monster takes their form. And I couldn't wear a jacket during it, and it was like 40 degrees. What'd you say?
I said like a skinwalker?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. It was unspecified. The script's a little confusing. It was another guy and myself making it, so I was like, sure. And so everyone else is like bundled up or like half bundled up because we filmed originally when it was warmer, or like it was a warmer night, and the last night it was pretty cold. So we were like, well, we had to wear the same things because of the same like 10
continuity.
Yeah, and so it was very cold last night. That's my entertainment for chat.
Sorry, I got a call from the school system, but it was like the animated call. Or automated call, not animated.
Animated.
They send whole ass videos. Well, they do sometimes, but not via phone call. But yeah, so it's an automated call, and I'm like, if I let it go to voicemail, I then have to actually go through and delete all those spam calls I've been ignoring. So I was like, let's just listen to it real quick. Which is basically a phone call that's like, check your email to fill out a form for next year. And I'm like, way to call out everybody who doesn't check their emails.
I wonder if that only was sent to people who didn't fill out the form yet? Or just like blanket?
It's just a blanket. It's just an automated, like if you signed up for the automated calls, you get them, whether they have anything to do with you or not. So, hello. Cookie King in the house. My electricity came back on just in time for the sprint. Awesome. Glad to have you here. Hello. Yeah, I was almost going to stream from my phone because our internet was out earlier. And I was like, well. Hello. Also, hello. Yes, Alexandria, your headphones are awesome.
Thank you.
I think it fits the fact that you have like multiple cats prowling.
They'll walk back and forth this entire time.
Good.
I am not the only one with a cat tree in the background.
Exactly.
My cat tree's over there.
Well, get a big window. Put
I have a big
Right
window. We're
there.
facing it because I too like to look outside, not just the cat.
Well, we can't help you there. When I want to look outside, I go to the other side of the table.
It's a very limited space, Sam. I'm in a dorm room. Very nice dorm room, but a dorm room.
You were the one doubling down.
I am.
We'll see.
No, I almost did, like,
rearrange the building.
Wait, no, I did rearrange my room recently. I kept the desk where it is, though, because window.
Accessorizing with cats. I don't think it's new. Just being in the Animu world as long as I have been.
Just walking around with a cat draped over your shoulders.
It's I actually, one of the first masks that I had when the pandemic hit was a little anime mask with a cat face on it.
Nice.
I have one with a little bear on it. I don't have a cat one, which is a little wrong for me, obviously.
You're like, now I
definitely should have been a cat one.
Mine are all just black, a piece of black cloth.
Well, to be fair, the mask, because it's already a cultural norm in many Asian countries, including Japan, to wear a mask when you're sick or you just don't want to deal with people. From some of the people I know, they just have masks, and they already had fashion masks and everything. So I was working an anime convention, and one of the people who runs another booth that I'm friends with was selling a bunch of anime masks. And I'm like, oh, hey, the kids would really enjoy those because there was a panda one and a little cat one and just cute little faces. So I got several of them, and then I gave some to the kids. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, well, these will do until we buy other masks. And now there's a shit ton of fashion masks just everywhere you go shopping. And my child is like, I need a Yoda mask. I need a SpongeBob mask. Mom, there's a Five Nights at Freddy's mask.
I had a Captain Marvel one. We were a family that was at the beginning sewing our own masks to get ready for this was 2 years ago, right before I left to college, but going back to school since since the pandemic started. We were sewing all of our own masks. And I had I have multiple Captain Marvel themed ones, I think.
Nice. I just because it hit right before summer here, and I'm in the South, and summer is humid in the South. I was typed in Korean face masks, or summer masks specifically, and then I got these, just a bunch of these, which you can put on your ear, but also they've got a button to go around. So hold on.
And the button goes around. Okay, right. Oh.
So then it's like this, so you can just take it off when you go in the car and then put it back on.
Oh.
But I was like, they already do this. Let me just go to the source and all that. They snap, so I don't know why I took my headphone off to put it over, because
for the effect.
I could have just unbuttoned it and done that. But yeah, so these are my favorite ones because this part is double layered, so it's still protective, but it's also very thin and breathable. So, which is very important to me. I must be able to breathe.
So when you say you're in the South, how south are you?
Tennessee.
Oh, I'm in Tennessee.
Which parts?
Middle Tennessee.
Same. I'm about an hour away from Nashville.
Me too.
We come to find out she's 4 houses down. The fact that Alexandra has already brought up skinwalkers, I know it's going to be a good night. We believe it will be. If Sam can fucking find anything on her computer. For the record, I have moved nothing. Nothing has changed. I'm just very lethargic today. So I'm like, there were things I was looking for, and I don't know where they are. Little did we know. That's what I'm saying. For the first time today, a child came and rang my doorbell to ask if one of my children wanted to play. Like, for reference, we live semi close to the school. It's like 5 minutes away. So I presume all of the children within my neighborhood go to the school. But none of my kids have ever cared before. And my oldest has noticed some of his classmates / friends when we're like driving home. Sometimes he'd be like, "Oh, it's my classmate," and I'm like, "Do you want to do anything with this information?" And he's like, "No." He's just content. My youngest, though, the social butterfly, like a couple weeks ago, I came home, or not a couple weeks, but like last week, I meant to say a couple days. Last week, I came home from going to the grocery store, and my neighbors were also coming home, and like their kids were in the yard. And my daughter goes, "That's my classmate." I was tired and didn't feel good though, so I was like, "That's nice, get in the house." And then today, she comes home and she's like, "Mom, so and so lives right next door. My other friend so and so is like across the street, but 4 houses down." And I'm like, this child is mapping the neighborhood now. She is like, I will know where they all are.
You're gonna ask her, and she's gonna pull out like one of those maps and be like,
you know her. She'll draw the whole damn map. She'll be like, "Mom, can I use Google Maps so that she can like?" So she's like,
the thing that actually like. My brain's glitching a little bit because I never had someone come up to my house and ask me if I wanted to play because I lived like when I was like a little kid, like rural.
I was very active / social in my little street where there were like 4 other children and we all knew each other. I say 4 other children. I mean like 4 other houses with children, and there were 2 to 3 of us in each house. But yeah, so she like the first thing they do when they come home is they get in their comfy clothes. For my oldest, that means he removes his socks and shoes and he's good to go. For the other 2, that means they switch to pajamas. And then so she comes down in her pajamas and she's like, "Mom, can I go outside?" And I'm like, "If you put on outside clothes, those are pajamas. They're inside clothes." So then she changes and she's like, "Okay, Mom, can I go outside without shoes?" And I'm like, "If you want, I don't care." And she's like, "I'm going to go put on sandals." I'm going to go put on sandals. In the time it takes her to put on sandals, now I assume that the children had conspired together or made plans, because as she's going upstairs to put her sandals on, I get my doorbell rings. Nobody ever comes to my house that rings the doorbell. If it's my family, they call, they tell me they're coming, or they just like walk in. But very rarely do they actually need to use my doorbell. So I'm like, I pull up the thing on my phone to check if it's like a package or something, and I just see a small child, and the small child takes off. I come out, my oldest has already inspected the situation. He's like, "Mom, there was a small girl at the door." And I'm like, "Yes, I saw." And so I go out, I go on my porch, and the girl is in the yard. Like, she's like, "Can Roxanne come out to play?" For a second, I forgot that I'm trying not to say my children's names, but oh well. So yeah, just like asked for her, and my child, like, she's just looking at me as if she hadn't already attained permission, and I'm like, "Yeah, just stay where I can see you if I go outside." And she's like, "Okay," and they go outside, and my oldest, like, I open all these windows so I can watch. And my oldest, like, every now and then he just like peeks outside, and if he can't see her, he goes on the porch and then comes in and he's like, "She's behind the car." And I'm like, good reporting, son. Good reporting. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was the first time any of my children have ever had friends come to the door or anything, and I'm like, they're being social without me now in a non-school setting. What is this? But of course, it's that one first. And then I tell my husband this, and he's like, "Those children are always outside." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm kind of surprised she didn't realize it. I guess she never paid attention." And then he's like, "It's summer." And I'm like, "Yes, summers are coming up." And he's like, "She's going to want to go outside every day." I'm like, "She already wants to go outside every day. She's just going to have more motivation to actually do it now." So that's our milestone. My oldest also, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go outside and I'll play with them." Goes outside. She's 7, he's 10. I presume he went outside, realized all of the children were her age, and came back in. Because he like came back in a little sad. And I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, so we should go ahead and do introductions. We should have done it 5 minutes ago, but I had a very long tail to tell. So, C.B, you're first. You're in the hot seat. You should have known better.
I'm C.B. Ferrenz, young adult fantasy writer, college student, teenager, film major, and in my channel, I talk about how those things come together, or rather do not. I give semi-reliable writing advice, host kind of productive sprints, and make funny videos, funny skits. I don't know, I lost it. And do behind the scenes on films I make. I'm not currently posting, but I probably might be back over the summer. If you're interested in any of that, links down below. Ta-da! This is my cat, Stormageddon, Dark Lord of All.
I had a cat circling me until I patted my lap, and then he went, nope.
I also have a cat on my desk trying to drink my icy.
She almost never sits on my desk. I'm like, do you want something? Do you need
As
something?
with the children, the cats have conspired.
Yeah. Sneaky house.
Alexandria?
Oh yeah, I have to introduce myself. My name's Alexandria. I sometimes make videos and I sometimes co-host streams. And that's everything that I do.
I'm waiting for my dog to stop. Do you mind? Do you have business here?
Don't lick the bowl, you little shit.
My dog's looking at me like, Mom, you don't understand. You're in the other half of the house and we hear the neighbors. They're doing things.
Or they exist.
Stop.
And I'm writing Mom Samantha L. Nasset. This is my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. On Mondays, I host live streams like these where we're social and we presumably will get to some productivity soon. And other times we talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. Like next Monday, we will be doing a Let's Talk about the 1984 Ghostbusters. And then at the end of the month, we will be discussing the Sailor Moon movie Black Dream Hole. Last month, we did The Mummy. Next week, I will post a poll for our June movie. So keep an eye out for that in the community tab. When I get back to posting content, it will be on Thursdays. I just still catching up on things. I'm almost all the way caught up on life stuff. So yes, soon. Getting back to all the scripting and stuff. If you'd like to read a sample of my writing so that you know that I know what I'm talking about, you can go to my website, samanthaalnasset.com, and read my spooky flash fiction Until Pizza Do Us Part. And while you're there, if you'd like to sign up to my newsletter to keep up to date with all things Sam, as well as be among the first to read my new short story, All That Glitters, which I will probably be working on tonight, maybe, because I have the notes and stuff back from my editor, so I can improve that. Do you mind? I was in a good vibe. It was going well.
Cody, Pride Month is June. Sorry, Cody.
I'm like
Pride Month.
If you would like to help support the stream, like, subscribe, ring-a-ding that bell, and if you would like to tip because you like the chaos that ensues here, then the Ko-fi is listed below.
You're so funny.
And yes, we're gonna catch back up on chat real quick. Go ahead. No, wait, don't do it because I'm catching up on chat.
Okay.
I forgot what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
He's just content with this.
You want something gay for next month? You could watch Heartstopper. I haven't watched it yet, but
Pajamas are everywhere. Clothes. Roxy is adorable. We have to do movies because Sailor Moon is our TV show and we can't move on until we catch up to that. Although I guess after Black Dream Hole we can because we're pausing until Cosmos comes out. Both of the neighborhoods I lived in, I never played much with other kids. There was one kid my age, but we weren't really pals. My close friends lived nearby, but not within walking distance. Yeah, the reason they haven't really like before, we live kind of in a military-ish neighborhood, so like a lot of our neighbors kind of phase in and out. Like the guy who used to live next to us was military, and then they just recently moved on base. But like my other neighbor, I've had like 4 or 5 different neighbors in the entire time we've lived here. So like the kids were always kind of going in and out as to like who was there, and most of them were not within my children's age groups anyway. So it was never like a big deal. But now my kids are getting a little bit older, and I guess now my youngest is just like making note of every possible socialization she can get in. Hello and welcome. The first neighborhood was mainly older folks, and the one I currently live in has that one girl, but we haven't talked in years. It's what you get for being first. I love everyone interacting with their animals. Yes. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. It's Pride Month, chat. Let it be gay. All right, so what I need for y'all to do, if you want us to watch an LGBTQ movie, is go recommend them. Because I don't think I have any on my recommended list. And I am a lazy bitch. I also need to know what like chat is interested in. So go find me a good one. Next movie. Give Sam yes. I am fully aware. See, where is CB?
I thought I like got the month wrong. I thought it was June already, or that Pride Month was in June. Was not June. And I'm like, no. I'm pretty sure that Pride Month is June. Like, is it now June? I thought it was just turned May, but I could be wrong.
No, I was talking because I'm trying to pre-plan my shit. Heartstopper is on Netflix. That is, in fact, where I just binged it.
It's already out. I haven't watched it yet, but all of my friends are like, how dare you be a teenage queer and not have watched it? I'm like, I'm sorry. I won't
lie, I heard British accents and I was like, because I don't like a lot of British media. So whenever somebody recommends me a show and I hear British accents, I'm like,
First my friends recommended the comic, and they're like, it's free, just read it. And I'm like, I will. It's like commitment. It's not. It's very like short.
Asking someone to read a webtoon is a lot more commitment, y'all. That's weekly.
I think it might be finished. I don't know. There's like novelizations.
Cody's
reading
all
my friends like, I have it.
I want to get. So, is it a book that was turned into a comic? Is it a comic that was turned into a book?
Oh, I didn't mean novelizations. I meant like hardback copy. It's a comic.
Yeah, I know. But Haley said she wants to read the books first, then the show.
It was originally a comic.
And then is it on Webtoon?
Yeah, it's on Webtoon.
Oh.
I think so, yeah. I know it's on Tapas.
Yeah,
but they want my money.
Yeah, I'd rather use Webtoon.
On there. I don't know. That's where I was told to read it.
The main reason one would read something on Tapas over Webtoon is if like it's a Tapas exclusive, or like if it's because Tapas has more flexible, not standards or terms of service. They allow for more sexy shit.
Censorship.
Yes, they're more lenient in their censorship. So like I read My Weird Roommate on Webtoons, but like they advertise their tapas a lot because they can put more steamy scenes on tapas. So, but other than that, I don't go to tapas because they want my money, and I read way too much to be paying for comics. Which to be clear, I do think that it's fine, and generally, like when I see tapas and Tappytoon, I do think their prices are very fair. I'm just very poor. And I would be paying hundreds of dollars a month to read all of the things. I'm keeping up with over like 200 series right now.
I have like 7 different comics apps and I use them all.
Me too.
Manta is one of my favorite. Manta and Webtoon are my main two.
I like the NPCs can save the world because it's gay and fantasy, and the art is like really pretty. And
but
like my
Cody,
got it.
But Cody, you can pay $5 a month on Monta and just get unlimited access to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I could recommend you other ones. I could.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to read it. Everyone with I'll tell y'all about that
Which
on
one
our
is
first break. Our first break, because once I start, it ain't stopping.
Can I have a guess?
You can guess.
Is it the shit? I don't know how to pronounce. Semantic error one?
Semantic error. No, I love semantic error, and it is by far one of my favorites. But it is not the one that I desperately needed somebody to read so bad I bullied Cody into reading it.
I have the app. You know I have the app.
I will talk about it after our first sprint, but it's called Dangerous Convenience Store.
Oh, I love that one.
Read that one. Yeah. We can't. We have to sprint. We have to sprint. I can't go into it yet. We gotta sprint. A collective gasp. Okay. The poll. That's what I was looking at. I was like, what do I need to... Why do I keep hitting enter? Wow, look, it's so romantic. Now buy our app!
No.
I honestly... Oh, the amount of stupid ads for webcomics. I thought you meant webtoons. I'm like, I don't get ads for webtoons of all the things. While I'm looking for the thing, I just hate the like web novel apps or ads, the web novel ads that are all like it was 20 minutes, right? Well, 20 and 30 are tied. Alexandria, 20 or 30.
What? I voted 30.
Okay, then that's what we're doing.
My vote is already in there.
Yeah, but I can't see what you voted. I needed the tiebreaker, so.
Good point.
I don't often put people on the spot, but when I do. Excuse me as I forget how to do everything. But yeah, I hate the ads for like web novels that like are stolen art that may or may not have anything to do with it. So like the other day there's this web novel and I've seen the web novel ad so many times. I've got like the first couple sentences committed to memory, and it's essentially like, oh, she was going to be with her alpha, but like she couldn't because of XYZ. But it's always a different picture. And like sometimes it's people having sex in an airplane, and sometimes it's these people doing other things. This one was specifically Eric and Ariel in a tub with his hand in a very suggestive location, and a small child was like watching. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I had shared it in one of my writing groups because I was like, I cannot be the only one to experience this.
So you're like, shared trauma.
Yeah, well, these things are not traumatic for me. I'm just highly interested in like the way they do things. I'll make a community post real quick. But yeah, it's just a thing. I'm more amused by it because I'm like, this is such shitty, shady, cheap marketing. I just hate it when there's a legitimately interesting comic that they've like stolen and they use it, because then I start reading the comic and I'm like, oh cool, this is, and I go to like click read more, and then I actually read the paragraph and I'm like, you sons of bitches, you almost had me again. And then I can't find the like original comic that they stole, and I'm like, yeah. I hate everything. All right, but yes, let us go into our first sprint, and then we'll discuss the gay comic when we come back. CB, count us down.
3, 2, 1, go!
Welcome, welcome. How did everybody do?
Hello.
Sorry, I was finishing up typing a thing.
Uncle, I was finishing up the thing I was doing.
Everybody was. We needed 1 more minute. Damn it! 1 more minute.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. For real quick, for everybody who would be interested in an LGBTQ plus specific movie, you can go to my community tab. I linked it to Cody. I'll pin it up for a little bit, and you can go suggest some things. I will double check that all of the movies are LGBTQ before I put them on the poll, just to be sure. And I will admit that while I watch a lot of LGBTQ things, just because of the way my mind categorizes things, I will never categorize it that way. So I can't think of any off the top of my head, though I know I've seen things. So.
Nice.
How did you two do during the chat? I was organizing movies and doing a couple other things. So.
I was working on a storyboard for our filming. We had way too many shots planned out for our shoot yesterday morning. And so we weren't able to, do them all because it would just take too much noise or time. Noise? So I'm doing a murder shot list, which is basically like the bare minimum you can do. Okay, maybe it's slightly extended, but so I'm breaking it down into like a wide close up with a few like extreme close-ups of important things. So I'm going through the script and doing that, which breaks my heart. But yeah, okay, that's so I did my amazing drawings. Like almost 2 pages of storyboard.
Awesome. Productivity. What did you get?
I ate dinner.
I suspected that because I remember pre-stream you had been handed a giant bag.
Yes.
I was quite envious. Because my husband was like, what do you want to do for dinner? Do you want to cook? Or he's like, whichever is easiest for you. It's always easiest to pick up dinner. But I was like, well, I can just make ravioli, just stick the can in the pot. And he was like, okay. And I'm like, all right. But I wouldn't be adverse to picking up dinner. And he's like, yeah, neither would I, but we should cook for now. And I'm like, sadness. I'm scrolling up. Okay, that's the Monta comment that Cody confirming I bullied him into it. I like told him, he's like, I gotta sleep for work. I'm like, okay, cool. A couple days later, I was like, sir, have you read it? And he's like, I felt the energy from the first message. Why do you keep... Oh, wait. We read that. Oh, God. What do you fear, Savion? He was being productive too. He's like, I'm finally working on book stuff, and I just went in his DMs. Like, have you read it yet? The dumb werewolf ad. I know. I particularly hate that some of them sound really interesting, and then I start to read part of it, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna like the execution, and I have to nope out. I've been deep diving. Not all are LGBTQ, but that's okay. That's all right. I noted the Wizard of Oz on there, and I was like, pretty sure that one isn't, but it's fine. I'll sort them out.
That was the last time I checked.
Hi, Jess. Welcome. I'm going to have to set a timer for 15 minutes, but I'm not starting it till we start talking about I'm just... all of my normal pattern for running a stream today, nope, it's gone. We're just doing whatever now. On my search, I have found more movies I want to watch. I mean, that's fine.
Good.
Hey, yo, and welcome back from loading the washer. Cleaning while listening to audiobook. Good. Hello. Yes, you finally read Iron Widow. How far are you? In the least spoilery way you can tell me. Laundry's in the washer. Cool. There are some that are just pretty cheesy romance, so I didn't put them on the list. Why not? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Put them on the. Go make another post, Cody. My gods, that is like half of my life. So I read Noblesse on Webtoon or Noblesse. I don't know. I read it when it was coming out, right? It was at 300 something chapters when I started reading it. I was able to keep up with it for the last 200 something chapters. I fucking love this Webtoon. It is by far like one of my favorite Webtoons. And it made me so sad. And there was such a roller coaster. It has such a bittersweet ending. Well, they made an anime of it. And because Funimation and Crunchyroll have combined, Chris and I have finally made a Crunchyroll account to watch some things. And so I was like, I could finally watch Noblesse. And we started watching it. And Chris is trying to ask me, he's like, well, who hooks up with who? And I'm like, oh, honey, it's not a romance. And he's like, what? He's like, you read something that's not a romance? And I'm like, I read a lot of things that aren't romances. I just don't tend to fangirl over them.
Okay, so, I think I read that too. I think I got like a couple hundred chapters in to it.
You have to get to at least chapter 150 to get to the art style that doesn't hurt my soul.
Yeah. I think I got to the gist.
But it's so good. I love it. It has such a unique take on things, and I love that it's like the responsibility of the noble is to take care of those who cannot take care of themselves. And I'm like, yes, that's what it's supposed to be about. Looks at all the corrupt nobility in history. Anyway, we're catching up on that. Added my suggestion. Awesome. I'll go back and check during the next sprint and add it. Right now, I'm just throwing all the suggestions on a note, and then I'll organize everything. Edited a few pages. Yes, somebody did work. I mean, CB did work, but
I did work for once.
I'm working on outlining chapter 22. Yeah. I was being so. Do you regret it, Cody? Do you regret the decision I made you make? Edited some words, hoping to write more in the next sprint. Yeah. Steak on the grill, baked potatoes, and corn on the cob. Ooh. I want
mac and cheese chicken nuggets.
And ravioli. Not even like the, nice raviolis where you add the sauce. So no, I had the Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee!
I was going to make it yesterday for Mom's Mother's Day, but she had traveled all day. I mean, that's fair. And honestly, I think that's better to like make it just on a day when Mom can fully enjoy it. We went out to dinner for Mother's Day on Friday because I didn't want to deal with people. So I was like, we're not going Saturday or Sunday. We're going to go Friday after the Dubba Dubba announcement streams. Off to make another list. Yes, good. What do you read or write, Alexandra?
I read just about everything. I just don't fangirl about everything, as you said earlier. And right now I'm writing a middle grade monster story.
I love monster stories, by the way. I just got mildly distracted by something. So
I'm obsessed with monster stories.
So am I. That's why the werewolf ads make me so fucking sad. Have you read Noblesse? Nobles?
I have started so many times.
I cannot get into style?
It. 100% the art style.
It gets better, because I would not have read it if it wasn't already in like the 300 chapters, because the like promo and stuff for it, the art style looked really cool and I really liked it. And within those first couple chapters, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a struggle." Like,
yeah, I googled it. I was like, "Does this get better?"
It does. Like, I don't want to just rip on the art because one of the things that I love about webcomics is that like it gives anybody of any skill level a chance to get started and to get like feedback and to improve and stuff. And one of the things I love doing is watching an artist improve over the course. Like, you're on chapter 300, you go back, you look at chapter 1 and you're like, oh my dams, you've gotten so much better. But there are just some art styles that are really hard to get through at first. And it's like, I'm glad that you worked through your early skills. So,
There's one that it's
What's your
absolutely
favorite?
ridiculous how different the art style is at the beginning versus the very end that I
Oh.
read. And I didn't realize while I was reading it how different it was until I went
Yeah,
back
'cause
to
it's the-
reread it. And I was just like,
it's the
what? Is this the
gradual
same
thing.
comic? What's happening?
Like, I binged 100 chapters of Noblesse, and I was telling my friend about it, and then I went to go fact check something in chapter 1, and I was like, wait a second. This is... Hold up. Already, I had forgotten how it looked. So I need to know, in your 270 pages in, oh, the Iron Widow. I was like, is it a literal manatee man? And then I remembered okay. He's my favorite. Lee Shimming is my favorite.
Is that the titty man or the
He's
pretty
Titty
one?
Man, yes!
Okay.
Which should not be called that if you look at his official artwork, but it's fine. Because it's actually very leanly built.
I should
But
really
it's
go back
okay.
and finish that book.
You should!
I kept going to listen to the audiobook when I was in the car and then getting
Yeah, you kept getting
emotional.
sad.
And then tears and driving do not mix.
Yeah. I'm halfway through a
Oh,
rewatch
okay.
season 1 of The Slayers. Nice. The choice I was very intently enforced to make, not a single minute. Yes. We all love monster stories here. I couldn't get into the art style. I'll try it since Sam loves it. Let me tell you, Cody, if you don't like the art style, it's fine. Just go watch the anime. You're gonna... Okay. Watch the anime and know that they cut out like the first 10 to 20 chapters of the webtoon, but they provide context later. They like literally just drop your ass into the arc and they're like no explaining. But yes, you can watch the anime. So far from my memory, the anime has followed the webtoon pretty good. Pretty
I'm
well.
having
I'm on 3 or
flashbacks
4,
to the
but...
comic now, like remembering what it's about. Like I only remembered like a single scene, and now I have like half the story is like being reformed in my head. I'm like, oh, this is entertaining again.
Let me tell you, it's it made me emotional. But to give everybody a small cap on Noblesse is that we've got this ancient immortal vampire god thing who just wants to live like a person. And he befriends, like, these teenagers find him and he befriends them. And that's all he wants to
In
do.
a non-creepy way.
Yes, I said
In a
befriends.
non-creepy or sexual way.
No, the children. He is like aromantic asexual.
It is a concern, Sam.
Not if I love the cinnamon roll. How dare you imply?
I mean like with vampire and teenagers.
Yes, and I'm telling you, if I love them, if I love them and there's a red flag like Damon, I will immediately introduce them as my problematic babe. No, Razel is a ray of sunshine, cinnamon rainbow boy who gets found by these teenagers who are then put in a life-death situation, and then he saves them, and then he's like their pet god.
They reverse adopt him.
Yeah, they reverse adopt him, and like his manservant Frankenstein, who is a fully grown man and cannot even emotionally handle if his master helps somebody clean up trash. He just can't deal. He's like, Master, I'm so sorry that you have... But like Ray's just like, yeah, I'll help clean. I don't give a fuck. I love them so much. It's so great. But he just wants to person. He just wants to learn to be a person. He wants to eat his ramen. He's like, the teenagers, they tell me that there's this thing that everybody else has, but I don't have it, but I need it in order to understand and Frankenstein's like, a telephone? So it's adorable. And then there's some secret organization. There's like some secret organization shady shit in the background, and there's 3 like supernatural factions. The shady shit is in the background, yeah. There's like supernatural factions going up against each other, vampires versus werewolves versus the human organization of modified humans, and all this is in the background. Meanwhile, Ray's just like sipping his tea. He's like slowly collecting an army of minions who are all superpowered. And yeah, it's great. I love it. It's so campy and so 90s. that it's just there's a magic to it. So even though it was not written in the 90s, it was so Frankenstein's adorable, isn't he? See, I'm telling you, I understand because the beginning art style, and if you can't get past that, the anime is so far just as good. So,
Have you watched Devil Part-Timer? Or The
I
Devil
have
is a
not, but I
Part-Timer?
need to.
I
I
love
watched one episode. All right,
It's really good.
I'm setting our break timer now, so because look, the dangerous convenience store. I need to be limited because I will go off on that. I knew with Noblesse I would control myself because nobody else has experienced it. But so the thing is, I read a lot of gay comics. I read a lot of gay media.
Me too.
And there's certain tropes that happen in gay comics all the fucking time. And sometimes you just grin and bear it because the rest of the comic is good. And then other times it's why you leave the comic. Some of these tropes are like the dubious consensual scenes. Oh, this guy was straight, but now maybe he's gay because the gay guy like came onto him very strongly and he was not against it. What are some other ones that I'm trying to think? Oh, the creepy obsessive ex that's like not portrayed in a bad light. They're portrayed in a good light. And also the intimidating guy is sexy because he's intimidating and we don't know the difference between being terrorized and being turned on. These are all unfortunately very common in gay comics and gay media. So I had been avoiding reading The Dangerous Convenience Store because it's about a gangster and a guy who works at a convenience store. Oh, also age gaps. Oh my god, the age gaps. So fucking many. And like one of the tags is that there's a big age gap. So I'm like, okay, I literally have nothing else on my TBR at this exact moment because of the way I organize my TBR, which I'm not going to explain at the moment. But so I start reading it, right? And this guy, he works at a convenience store and it's in the dangerous side of town, which he gets paid more for. They do let you know. And so gangsters come in all the time and they're scary and they're intimidating, but like he does it because he needs money and all of this. And then we've got the love interest who comes in and he talks to him friendly, right? I mean, he's not a cinnamon roll, but he'll just be like, so how's your day? You doing okay? Yeah. like the one time he's like he comes like the one time the college kid. The other thing is he's a college guy, but he's like later in college, so he's actually I assume mid-20s, not early 20s or late teens. So that's a plus. They like already subverted the age issue. And
drink.
The gangster guy looks looks late 20s, early 30s. I don't know how old he's supposed to be. He might supposed to be in his 40s because comic art, but he looks early 30s to me. So already we're subverting one of my concerns. And like, guy, something good happens at college. Dude's like, something good happened today? You look happy. And I'm like, this man is showing some genuine interest in our MC already. And that's just like one of the first ways that they subvert the tropes. And some of the other ways, I'm trying to be as like spoiler free as possible, is consent is actually discussed in a thing. They like talk about consent and like and the guy says no a couple times and then the sex scene just like stops. They cool down, they back off. And I'm like, that doesn't, let me tell you, I was just reading 3 other gay comics that updated with the exact opposite of this scene. This is gorgeous. And then there's also, so our gangster love interest is, he thought he was straight. And then he's like, but maybe not. But maybe both. And I'm like, wait, we got a bi? We got a bi in here? And so like already subverted another trope that I don't like. So we got 3-4 trope subversions going on. There is another love interest person who is kind of creepy and shit, but our love interest does not back, or not our love interest, our main character did not back down. He handles that situation in one of the best ways I've ever seen in a gay comic. And I'm like, who wrote this for me? Who saw my list of complaints and said, Sam, I got you. I'll fix them all. So, like, yes, if you read gay comics and you subscribe to Monta, go read The Dangerous Convenience Store. You will not be disappointed. And I need more people to gush. If I could update it today, and the first thing I did in my morning was Cody it updated. So I need more people.
I read it a few months ago. So, like, very behind, but I liked it when I read it. And I remember a few things you're talking about. What?
I'm very betrayed right now. You didn't tell me about this?
I think, no, it was like one of the first gay I'm talking about like months ago.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe a year.
Maybe months, a year, same.
That is so long, okay?
No, I get you. It's just, yeah, I've only seen it once. There was only 1 or 2 panels where I was like, bro, why? Why the yaoi hands? Most of the time their hands are proportional.
What is that?
Yes, I did. I said I would. I said I'm not starting it until we start talking about it because there was so many things. I read it the moment I got home. Yes, it's just beautiful. So about Monster Story, I was telling my 7-year-old a bedtime story. It was too boring, so I went full storyteller on him after he said now I needed therapy where they don't push her. My sister has kind of opposite problem with me because like one day we're doing yard work and I was like it was just really bored and hot and my weed whacker kept getting caught in the tall grass, so I narrated a love story with a history between the grass and the weed whacker and how they're like meant they can't be together, but they feel that they're meant together and they were just doomed and everything. And my sister's like, could you not? Why does everything turn into a love story with you? And I'm like, I have to entertain myself. Yes, my love. Yes, you may. Alexandria, did you have any thoughts, opinions on The Dangerous Convenience Store? Who's your favorite?
I'm obsessed with it, but I don't think I can talk about it without spoiling it. I'm going to be honest. I have too many opinions.
This is
and I want to talk about all of them.
Since everybody's read it, apparently, CB just doesn't remember things. So go ahead. We're in spoiler zone. You've been warned.
To go back to the proportional hands thing, there is like one panel that absolutely kills me with his neck. Do you know the one I'm talking about where his head is so tiny?
I know exactly the one you're talking about. They're in the convenience store and he's asking him a question and he's leaning forward and I'm like, so did you just turn into a giraffe? What's going on here? Why is your head so freakishly small?
It's good though. I like it. It's been a minute since I read it. But
I read it just this weekend. So
I
remember all the things.
I'm
the expert. Look, I had a 4-day migraine. The only thing that I can do is read. And so I read comics because they're pretty and they make me feel better. There was one scene I sent Sam a pic of a hand and I was like, why does this hand look weird? Oh, so he's doing something with his hand and the hand itself is fine, but he's got like a third wrist up here. And yeah, I spoke plainly.
I just remember one scene where his hand was like the entire shape of dude's thigh. Like it was just the full length. It's just it's this big. Wait, hold on. That hand was a little. Never mind.
But oh, excuse me. I hate the X. I think the X needs to be pushed off a cliff.
I don't consider him in play at all at this point, to be honest.
See, I want to know if...
He wasn't really an ex, though, was he?
No,
he liked him. They went on a date. He actually was in a relationship with someone else.
I say ex because I don't know how else to label him. His crush, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, see, I don't see him as a like rival or a love interest, but I do think he's going to come back. I just think like as a villain-ish or antagonist, like for the drama, not as an obstacle to the romance, which I appreciate and I like, because the narrative around him was rather kind of dark and ominous, and he seemed a little too into the MC and like angry at how that went down. So
I'm gonna have to read this tonight. I'm like, I kind of remember, but I also like have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, I remember there was another guy, and like that's kind of why they were hooking up.
Well, okay, yeah, there was. So again, people, you've been warned of spoilers. So what happened is he like had a crush on this guy that he's known for 3 years, and then he confessed to the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I like you too," but the dude was like, "Oh yay, cool," but then he like finds out that the guy has a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
It was a girlfriend.
Damn.
Another bi character.
Well, see,
probably
that's where it gets confused a little bit, because I do think the crush is bi, because he like had a girlfriend, but also because he thought dude was straight, but then like his friend caught the dude making out with a guy in a club, so he was cheating on the girlfriend or the boyfriend or both.
The partner. Yeah.
And it basically kind of like imply like the dude kind of says that he's poly but not poly, like a bad representation of poly, because he's like he just dates around and like he doesn't care if his partners know, but like the main character is very much like, nah, I'm monogamous, that don't work for me. And then the dude's like, well, I broke up with all my exes, I didn't really like my boyfriend anyway, I just said I'd go out with him because he asked me to and I felt bad. And dude's like, this isn't gonna work for me, sorry. And then like he continues to like the next day he has a real shitty day, and then like our gangster cinnamon roll does not in fact come to the convenience store, and like dude like is walking home and he sees the gangster, and the gangster's like, well, you look really down. He's like, you didn't come to the store today. I think the gangster is just like, and his like servant dude is like, boss. And he's like,
his henchman,
leave now. And so the henchman goes and he's like, you sit down. And he's like, no, I'm not going. And he leaves, and he's like, you don't want to say no to me. I mean, fuck, I can't. I would. It's
not what I meant.
If you sat down with me, which is the other thing too I love, because like in other gay fiction, a lot of times what would happen is he'd be like, you don't want to sit down with me, and then he would sit down because he's intimidated. But no, our dude knows that's not how you treat your boo, so he's like, I would like it if you sat down. And what happened? He's like, I doubt that your bad day is just because you missed me. And I'm like, but what if it was? It wasn't. But then like they talk, and the main character is all like, I'm gonna find a guy who's taller, more muscular, and hung to get over him. And dude's like,
I remember this part.
He's like, you just said that to like a stranger? And he's like, well, I feel like I could say anything weird to you and you'll just listen. And I'm like, 10-10, we stan the love interest. And then the love interest is just like, well, I'm tall, I'm muscular, I can help you get over him. And I'm like, this man's smooth. So like, yeah, then they decide to like fuck, and then
the next,
huh?
Wasn't it in a car?
No, that's later.
Okay, that's
this one was in the bed.
I think that's the last scene I read, because it's like the first one I thought of. I was like, oh yeah, the one where they fucked in the car.
No, that's actually kind of a sad one.
Yeah,
No, this one was cute and everything. And then the next day, dude's gotta like take off to go to class and leaves a little note with his number and shit. And guy comes to the convenience store and everything's like main character's awkward. And he's like, look, we had a one night stand. We can pretend like it never happened. Or we can do it again.
Okay, I'm remembering more.
It's great because there's so much open communication and it's so healthy. Like, and I really love it, but they also don't force anything and nothing like.
Is there a scene with a fish tank? Like around the mob guy, like the gangster guy. Is he like
the one where he is sitting there and that chick kisses him, and he has a lipstick stain on his thing on his lip when he goes back to the convenience store.
Around?
Yeah, there was one behind him.
I just remember like an image of a fish tank.
It's just the only thing you remember.
Which later, like, main character's like, you got lipstick on your collar, and the gangster's like, I fucked up, yeah. And then like later just calls him just so he could try to explain what happened, but he hears the guy crying, and he's like, where are you crying? Brings him an umbrella, and then that's when they like fuck in the rain, and dude's like, why did you call me? And he's like, to tell you that I didn't sleep with the lipstick lady.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you called just for that? And he's like, yes. And then like on the way home that night, dude's like, I don't just want to have a sexual relationship. I'm not really okay with that. And so I like being your friend and I like talking to you. So like, can we still, stay friendly? And my boss, he's just like, I like you. So here's what's gonna happen, like, just let me keep treating you nice. Let me keep talking to you. Essentially, let me keep courting and wooing you. And if you like it, we'll date. And if you don't like it, dump me. But you better make it clear when you dump me that you dumped me, because I ain't stopping till you do. And I'm like, oh! This is the point when I was like, Cody, go read it.
Okay, yeah, that I think is when I stopped. Or I caught up.
The same chapter with the car sex. So
yeah, okay, that's when I caught up.
Yeah, and then now they're just like in a nice little wooey thing going on. It's so cute. So if you have Manta and you don't mind gay comics, go read it. The Dangerous Convenience Store.
Speaking of intimidation tropes and gangsters, though, have you read Mayday, Mayday, Mayday?
No, I have not. What's it on?
Never mind. Let's move on.
Is it on Manta or?
I don't remember, but I read it a while ago, and it was just.
They spell Mayday.
I don't know, but I'm looking it up too.
It's about this, like, it has some a few trigger warnings, but it's about this the head of like a Russian mob thing, and who has a fantastic body, and
that was one of the images, is his fantastic body.
You have to turn your brightness down.
But exactly. But anyway, there's our MC is doing like the money stuff for him and trying not to let him find out that he is gay.
Yeah, the storyline right here is like Yoon Yuno, which Yoon Yuno, I love the name, is a small-time money launderer with a huge problem. He can't seem to escape the sexual advances of his client, Vasily Ivanovich. So
it was only his client by force, but yeah,
there's so many problems with that. I did.
That one had a lot of issues.
Yeah,
but I love a problematic love story. So
I think I ditched it at one point. I was like, oh.
As a '90s child, look, they didn't set us up for healthy expectations. So some of us have some deep-rooted things socialized into us that we're like, we know it's a problem. We won't perpetuate it. But it's kind of you got a story with. Let me just read this at 4 a.m.
Ah, yes, 4 a.m.
Like, why do you think the Dangerous Convenience Store was even on my list? I don't want to talk about my 90s problem issues. Like, we know. There's science and psychology behind it, and it is.
I don't think too deeply on it. It's too sad.
Just like, I'm feeling not
I think
too.
deeply on all of it. Well, it's because, like, well, that's like getting into discussion of what can be in YA versus what can be an adult. And I'm like, if it's an adult book, you could put any fucking thing in it. An adult should know better.
Yeah.
So, at least that's my opinion.
I said I'm finished my storyboard during my online class tomorrow.
I wonder why. What are you?
No, I have another assignment to do, but then.
But are you going to work on the other assignment?
I don't know. It's gay. It's gay confession time, and I don't know how it's gonna go, and so I've been putting it off.
Alexandria, just like every Monday at 4 a.m, is now gonna get messages from me. It's like, oh my god, it updated. Like, I didn't really speak to this woman before.
I'm fine with it.
Anywho, sprints. Alexandra, would you like to count us down?
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Yay.
Hello, hello. What's up? How'd everybody do? I don't know why I said what's up.
Oh, hello, Storm.
How did y'all do? I'm asking you so I can finish what I was doing.
I watched 20 minutes of The Adam Project. And I'm watching it, one, because I wanted to, even before Walker Scoville got cast as Percy Jackson. But my review, he's really good for a kid, and he's adorable. Like, really, like, pat on the head adorable. I know he's, like, very sassy and everything, but I'm like, oh my god, that's so cute.
So you appreciate the casting even more now?
Yeah, I do. I saw, like, clips of him doing press junket stuff with Ryan Reynolds, because I follow Ryan Reynolds on, like, all social medias. So, like, I saw some of the kid, like, just being himself, but, like, him acting is a little bit different. Yeah, I'll go with it. Hello, Kat.
Alexandria, how did you do?
I started trying to read Noblesse again.
I wish you much luck with getting through that.
Thanks.
Like I said, the moment like everyone was like, well, I tried. I'm like, it's the artist.
The key word here is trying.
Yeah.
It's tempting. I see why I stopped reading it so many times, though.
Yeah. I was thinking also it's like for the record, because I know quite a few people are going to read it specifically because I enjoy it so much. I do not necessarily always love high quality things. Some of the things I like, I would not actually consider quality. But I feel Noblesse's storytelling is just it reminds me very much of like 80s action movies. It's just very like campy and over the top, and like they don't feel like they actually need to explain or make sense of like half of the things that they can do. The rule of cool is very much the ruling rule, and I'm okay with that. I'm at with it. I like a lot of the characters. I enjoy a lot of the interconnecting drama, and I think it's fun. And they actually made me care about a few characters, and then when things happened I got sad, and it's not easy to make me emotional for a thing.
You're like
but
the opposite of me.
Yeah, I'm like the opposite of CB. So I'm just saying, if you can get through the artwork and everything, then I find it very enjoyable. But also, taste is subjective, so I will not be offended if anybody's like, yeah, no, I tried it, couldn't. I'm like, it's fine. It's like when people are like, yeah, I couldn't watch Sailor Moon. I'm like, I get it. It's okay. But yes, welcome to a Sam stream. Are we all just... Yeah, no, I was being good. I was organizing movie suggestions and double checking, trying to figure out which ones are LGBTQ and which ones are just Cody wanted to see. Like, I got to Mean Girls and I was like, I don't know.
No.
Most likely no. I read all of my webtoon updates before the stream. Thank you. Hello. Okay, I'm finishing watching. Yep. When the scene changes when you're not looking and get a baby jump scare. 190 words. Aw, yeah. Been reading a book called Story Genius: How to Use Brain Science to Go Beyond Outlining and Write a Riveting Novel. Seems interesting so far. Well, there is a title. How's the Adam Project? I was thinking about watching it, but I'm 13, so I'm not sure if it's appropriate for me. Honestly, only your parents can answer that, because like everybody's different. The stuff that I was allowed to watch at 13 was not the same as the stuff that my sisters were allowed to watch at 13, because I handled adult material like better, and I've never gotten nightmares in my life. So
in response to the how is the Adam Project part of it, it is thoroughly enjoyable. I really like it. It's like the good number of like fun and stupid, plus also like action adventure, plus also like emotionally invested in it, and it makes it makes enough sense.
So would you say that the way you would describe it is how I just described No Please?
Yeah, but it's not. There's like it makes sense. Like I'm following it. Like there's no like so far.
You haven't had to suspend your disbelief yet?
Yeah, I mean, other than it's a movie about time travel, so it's like okay. But other than that, I think it's fantastic acting. The writing is really good. The special effects is surprisingly good. Other than they de-age a woman. They have a woman playing herself 30 years younger, but she's like not elderly, but she's like past. She's like in her 60s, and she's also playing like the 20-year-old version of herself, which doesn't track, or maybe 30-year version, but they're using special effects on her face. And like I've seen worse, but like that's the only point I've been like, okay, whatever. You could have just gotten a different actress, but okay. But I'm fully enjoying it. It's the kind of movie I want to make, so I approve. CB approval.
Went over my outline for the first chapter. Sometimes low quality is just as good.
Mean Girls?
This is one of those times when I'm like, I don't agree with the statement.
I think it's a movie the gays have claimed, and there is
and I don't agree with that like statement. With it's a gays movie. I just think it's a movie. There are several times when movies are made more for a female target demographic, and then like the LGBT community is like, well, this is our movie now, and it gives me very mixed feelings because I'm like, why are you taking my things? We can share, but you can't just take my things. So when I say that being queer myself, it's just it gets into blurry lines, and I only know of one gay character in the movie.
I think
one out.
Lesbian. Or she's rumored to be a lesbian.
No, that's what she's bullied by them lying about. Yeah, she's Lebanese. No, everybody bullies her by saying she's a lesbian. There is one confirmed out gay character.
Yeah, the guy.
So that's why it's one of those things where it's like, well, this is my first, June Let's Talk with movie with an LGBTQ movie. I want a movie that is not questionably whether or not it's an LGBT.
Really like the movie.
So
overall,
you don't like I can understand why you don't like the movie.
It's just like it was so overplayed me growing up. It's like, oh yeah, every teenage girl needs to watch this movie. It's like the penultimate and I'm like, it's a movie. It's like The Breakfast Club, where it's like, okay.
I don't. I've seen part of The Breakfast Club, and I was like, why do I want to watch this? But yeah, I like having said that, I do enjoy Mean Girls. Like I really like that movie. It's just one of those things.
It has pulp culture significance, but yeah.
Before you waste 3, hold on. So the full title of this fucking thing is
God.
How to use brain science to go beyond outlining and writing a riveting novel before you waste 3 years writing 327 pages that go nowhere. Somebody had a very specific gripe and regret in their life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still on the overall list. It's just, do I put it in my June list or the other list? And that's really where the decision lies. So far, I have not seen a movie that somebody suggested that I'm just like, nope, never. So we're good. And there are movies that I will just nope, never to. But I'm not going to say what they are because then people will ask for them. So.
Your cat is much more docile than mine. Docile?
Only sometimes.
I was very surprised that she let me pick her up, and I did not end up bleeding by the end of the interaction.
You're hoping that the gripe is the title. It sounds like somebody wrote specifically 327 pages that went nowhere and then decided it was a waste. And now they've learned brain science and they want to help other people. But like, it would be great.
Were they ever successful? Like,
this book might be successful.
Somebody was like, you know what? these overly long and specific titles have worked as a trend in anime. Let me try it with a book. I love when I work conventions and people come up to me and they like start telling me this and I know that they are a hardcore fan because they've told me the entire title and I'm like, I think I saw it on the shelf.
Can you write that down?
Run that by me
like
again.
half of it, maybe.
I was like, there's a, and then the other thing is there will be like multiple sub series, so it's like this isn't a real one. Don't come at me. But it's like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Second thing. And it's like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon is the main title. And then like second swing is the sub thing. So then you've got that one. And then you've got the second one. And then it's like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Orden sword. And you're like, I can't even tell you what the fuck order these bitches go in anymore. Like, and these are all series. Welcome back. Glad that you are now fed. Being fed is good. So like somebody just looked at that and they're like, you know what? I can do it. And then you have the stuff that I actually watch, which is just like short title Dress Up Darling. And I'm like, the fuck is this? It's about a cosplayer who befriends a boy who can make costumes. And they're super cute.
What is this?
It's either Dress Up Darling or My Dress Up Darling. And so this boy, he like wants to make Hina dolls. And he like lives with his grandfather learning to make Hina dolls and stuff. So he's good at sewing. And then there's this girl who she's a huge weeb and I love her. She is unashamed and she's also one of the best designed modern characters in anime. Like she's always got her nails and like her piercings and her makeup always looks nice. And I love her. She is unashamedly just gorgeous all the time. And then his sewing machine at home dies, which when I saw his first sewing machine, I was like, my God, I had one of those in my room as a child. You need a new one, sir. I already know. And then it broke. So I felt justified. But so he uses the school sewing room because they don't have a home ec club. And then she goes there because she also uses the sewing room. And he's full on ready to be ridiculed for being a boy who can sew. But instead, she's just like, bruh, I got a project and I need to know what you think of it. And she like pulls out her cosplay. And she's like, this is my first one. And she's like got a pattern making book and everything. And he's just like, he starts fanboying with her. And then she's like talking about the character. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. And then she's like, it's from an erotoge, which is an erotic otome, which is a dating sim. So it's an erotic dating sim. And he's just like, what? Sorry. Is this important? And then she makes him play the whole game. But one of the things I love about him is he gets really into the storyline and everything. And he's like, yeah. And then he like considers it like character research so that he can properly make the costume. Because he's like, I need to like think about what kind of fabrics and everything. And I'm like, I love him so much. He's so precious. And she's like,
really cute.
The word shame does not exist in her vocabulary. So he's like, I gotta measure you. And she's like, okay. She's like, stripped down to a bikini. And he's like, oh my God. I can't handle this. I just can't. Do you not? I'm a boy. And you're very nice to look at. And I don't know what to do.
You're very nice to look at. Nice.
It's just great. Also, she like realizes that she has this effect on him. So sometimes she does it on purpose. And I'm like, I ship them so hard. I love it. So I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's called My Dress Up Darling. And let me tell you, at first, whenever I see certain art styles or like things, I'm very concerned about what I'm about to watch. But this one, much like The Dangerous Inconvenience Store, subverted a lot of my usual issues. So it's all good. Oh, although there is one scene There's one scene. Everybody note, there is one scene in it that I regret its existence. And if you want to know, I'll DM you. But yes.
Hi.
Have you seen My Dress Up Darling,
No.
Alexandria?
I have read the manga, like half of it,
because
on one of my mini apps. Do you have the Crunchyroll's manga app?
Yeah, I couldn't find it on there. Does it go by a different name?
I don't remember. It was so long ago. I read half of it, and I didn't know they made an anime about it because I didn't really love it.
Oh,
I liked it at first, and then I was just like, "This is getting weird."
I'm just
gonna back out a little bit. I'm like, I wanted some like
with hope.
very, very pure fluff, and then I got that, and I was like, that's not what I was going for in this mood. Let's put it away for another time.
That's fair. It does bounce between like some super wholesome fluff to some towing the line of ecchi.
Yeah.
Which
I'm just like, I just wanted a little fluff. That's why I picked it up, and I was just like, yeah, no, this isn't what I thought it was. Never mind.
I'm okay with both. So I was like, no, we're good.
I'm okay with both. It just depends on what mood I'm in.
The vibes, yeah.
Yeah, the vibes.
Yeah. Like, these are not the vibes you're looking for.
That reminds me, I'm gonna have to watch this rugby anime on my own because I started. I can't remember the name of it, but there is a sports anime that is rugby themed, and it is possibly one of the most homoerotic animes I have watched in so long.
Send me the name of it. I'll watch it with you.
Let me go find it real quick. But I was watching it with my husband, and he's okay. Like, he loves JoJo, so he's okay with it, like, to a point. But it was just like he wasn't really connecting with the characters for this one, so he's not really interested. Oh yes, Cody, All Out. That's it. That sounds right. Let me double check. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to finish. It was on Funimation, is where I was watching it. So
watching.
I have both.
Yes, it is All Out. Let me tell you, and one of the people is there's Deku and Todoroki's voice actors.
Really? Yes. Are they the main characters?
I don't remember. We were watching it a couple months ago. I'm going to go finish it later now. But
I think you sent me pictures of like videos of this.
I did. I said,
I wanted to fucking watch that.
It's so great.
Oh, did you watch Skate the Infinity?
I want to.
No, it's on my list.
Oh, I love it. I love the English dub for it. Just the eccentric guy, he just gets up on the top of the stage and he's just like bitches and bros and non-binary hoes. And I was just like, oh, this is perfect.
I fell into the fandom of it at one point, and I was like, abort, I haven't watched it yet, and I want to.
Never do that. Never go into the fandom until you watch the thing. The fandom don't give a fuck.
Algorithm.
We're watching Spy Family. Like, my husband and I are watching Spy Family as it comes out now. And I
read the manga. I haven't watched the anime yet or started it.
He follows tags and stuff on Twitter, and he has regrets now because he followed the Spy Family tag, and he's like, damn it, I hate weebs. They're already fan arting spoilers. I'm like, sir, it's been out for more than an hour. You should have known better. But yeah, Spy Family is such a good one. I don't read manga, so now I have so many questions. Ask your questions. You'll get answers. I don't know if the answers will satisfy or lead to more questions, but we'll give you answers.
Or once you know things, you can never unknow them.
Yeah. Cody he DM'd me on Discord. He's like, it's all out. And I'm like, yes. But oh my, like, for a while I'm sitting there going, because a lot of times when something it takes a bit for me to be like, yeah, this is homoerotic. Like, it's got to definitively be this way. Otherwise, I'm like, maybe it's just like effeminate dudes. Some straight dudes are that way. Because I've had many a friend who have been assumed straight who weren't, and some who were assumed gay who were straight. And I just know that it can hurt feels no matter what way you go. So I just don't assume things of people. But this particular anime, I'm also very just in fandom. There are so many pairings that people will get violent over, and I just hate that shit. But sometimes there's things that it's like, no, this, yeah, no, the Kool-Aid man came through the wall with this. And like, you're watching All Out, and it's like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a bunch of dudes doing sports and shit in their tiny ass shorts. That's, that's just how sports be. But then, like, this one dude tackles the other one, and he's just laying there. And I'm like, okay, this one feels a little. And the guy on the ground's like, I love it when you're on top of me. And you're like, sir, sir, sir.
That could be
straight for this. And now I have a new ship. I need to
I'm so bad. I'll be like, watching things with my family. I'll be like, oh, they're a cute couple, and my family will look at me and they're like, they're not. And I'm like, oh shit, I was seeing everything through the gay lens again. Oh shit.
And she's like these two characters look at each other, and she's like, oh, they're so cute, I ship them. And I'm like, you and Tabby both. But like, I told you to watch Arcane with the confirmed lesbians, and you still ain't watched it.
I have started it so many times. It's really angsty, and every time I go to watch it, I'm not in an angsty mood. It's very angsty. Like every single time, I'm like, I'm gonna watch Arcane. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Watch something else.
It's so fucking cute. Yes, you may regret it, but we will answer. I'll DM y'all later because I thought about starting to get into both manga and anime. I have a list, a Google Doc for recommendations for new people for anime.
I'm kind of worried about your recommendations based on this conversation alone.
Okay. No. Specifically a list for new people to manga and anime. Because there is a vast... Here's, like, having worked at anime conventions and having been a weeb for so long, there are definitively anime you do not recommend to noobs. I don't care. I don't care what their taste is. You just don't recommend it to new people. And so I have compiled a list because like CB was once new to anime. And so I sent her a list of anime that I recommend for people who are new. And like some anime that will never be on this list is like JoJo and Berserk. You don't recommend to newbies. You just don't do it. My Hero Academia. Yeah. That depends on their taste. If they like superhero stuff, then yeah, My Hero Academia is perfectly fine to get somebody into anime. But if they don't like superheroes, that's one of the worst ones. Because that's all it is. It's superheroes.
Yep. Literally just superheroes.
It's fantastic. I love superheroes.
So it's like, let me go check what my list is compiled of. But I feel you, because I too have those concerns.
Are like the two that I was like, shit, I kind of like this.
There's a bunch of yoga poses. Hold on, that's a bunch of My Hero art. CB, where did we put my...
I don't know.
So it's like Sam's Anime Rex Shoujo edition.
Oh, yeah, this.
Yeah. Agretsuko, Maid Sama, Cells at Work, Cardcaptor Sakura. I have Miraculous Ladybug on here. Why? Oh, probably just because it was for CB.
We discussed that.
It says it's not an anime. It's a French cartoon, but it's really good.
I can't watch it regardless. I'm too scared of ladybugs to even try to.
That is unfortunate, but
there's a lot of crossover Bat Family, like Batman, like I am the Knight, and Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction, like so much of it.
And then also Spice and Wolf. I also put disclaimers like Spice and Wolf. This is a darker anime, and if you don't care about economics, it's gonna be boring as shit. Because the mangaka wasn't, I forgot the word. Because the mangaka is an economics dude, so he put so much into that. So like I do like have disclaimers as well when it's yes, baby, you can have an orange. When it's like, I don't just give people a list of names and go, here you are. My shonen recs were not pinned in our conversation. Well, I ain't finding them. It's too late now.
The ones I've read, stopped halfway, and then went to read. I have a lot of the stopped halfway.
Yeah, me too. I feel that.
So I'll like go in at like full tilt and I'll like binge, and then I'll be like have to stop for that binging period and go, I don't have any drive to go back to that. I made it through so many seasons of Bleach.
See, I haven't seen Psycho-Pass. Sorry, I haven't seen Psycho-Pass, but here's the thing. Any anime with the word psycho in it, I would not give to a noob. You have to understand the way that anime
What about Mob Psycho?
I haven't seen Mob Psycho either.
Okay, no. But, like, put that on your list now because it's one of my favorites.
What's it about?
I have a general idea. Go ahead.
Well, a lot of people, like, I feel like it's very back and forth just because the art style is kind of out there. Like, my husband absolutely hates it, but he also doesn't really like anime. But he can't watch it. Like, he can't be in the same room if I'm watching it. He hates it so much. But it's about this kid named Mob who's a psychic, and Reagan Arataka is a con artist that is pretending to be a psychic medium and is like helping him control his psychic powers, but not really. It's really wholesome.
No, that sounds
it doesn't sound like it from what I just said. Like, it's really wholesome. It's cute. It's wholesome. I like it. It's funny. It's very funny. The English dub is good.
I have to find where I put it, but then I will send it to you. Yeah, like I said, I'd have to watch Mob Psycho before I could agree if it's good for noobs or not. But like mainly a lot of anime that I wouldn't recommend for new people is because there's just certain things that anime does that it's like,
yeah,
weebs take for granted because we're used to it. So like, but then other people would like watch it and be like, this is kind of fucked up. And it's like, I mean, yes, but that's anime.
The things that like surprised me the most were like when I was showing like the first episode of My Hero like to my friends, like that's the one I used to introduce them to it because it's my favorite. It like, you know, Deku's like really dramatic. Like he'll like, you know, do like the freeze frame where like it will like change to black and white like a sketch and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
or like the giant tears, and I'm like, I'm looking at it with a different lens. And it seems really stupid. And then you're like, keep watching. Keep watching.
But that's one of the best parts about anime is because they can break frame, they can break model and animation, and that makes it so very expressive and entertaining. And like, how many times are you watching an anime and you're like, they just changed the whole ass art style for this one guy? Like, we're watching a different show now. So, but yeah, that it's just the thing. You gotta pick and choose, and it's also very like personal taste too, because like you could recommend an anime that's, you know, it's a chill, good anime for getting people into anime, but then like that person hates that particular genre, like a romance, but like that person hates romance.
Yeah,
My Love Story.
Like
have you seen that?
No, it's on my list. See, the problem with some of the things is they either, when I went to watch them, didn't have a dub, or I just had a time when I didn't have time because I can't really read subtitles sometimes. And then I'll go through stages where like all I can do is lay down and stare at the TV. So then that's where I get all my subs binged.
I've tried getting my husband into certain animes, ones that I really like, but I'm really bad at picking ones for new people because all my favorites are like almost parody animes. Like they make fun of a bunch of tropes.
Yeah,
so every time he's just like, I hate this. What are we watching right now?
Sam, you could do a video on your list.
What?
Like on your list of like intro
anime.
You can do a video explaining why.
That'll be a TikTok. My anime recommendations series
for newbies.
For newbies or for people who enjoy XYZ. Because yeah, the thing with parodies in any like genre is a well done parody is a mocking love letter to what is parodying. That's one of the reasons I love Konosuba, is because it parodies harem in isekai so well, and I adore the fact that the main character can't be turned on by the goddess at all because he just like perceives her as too sisterly in a way. Like he wouldn't admit it in those words, but basically she's become his little sister, and so he cannot. And I'm like, this is beautiful, but it's so good because he's a dirty pervert and he wants to be a dirty pervert, but he cannot like be into any of these women because he's just so like there's a something about each one of them that he's like, nope, that's my red flag. That is my make or break it for this deal. And also, for people who have seen Konosuba, or if you even haven't, the opening episode is 100% a Yu Yu Hakusho reference, and I will not be told otherwise. He is wearing a green school uniform. He gets hit by a car, and not only does he die by getting hit by a car, he wasn't supposed to. And he only died because he tried to save someone's life who would have been less injured if he had just left them alone. And that is too hyper specific to not be a Yu Yu Hakusho reference.
I was thinking about Yu Yu Hakusho the other day. I think someone was doing like a version of a spirit gun in the comic I was reading. I was like, that's spirit gun. Like they were literally going like this, and I'm like, and then the rail blue thing. I was like, that is.
It's one of the Yu Yu Hakusho is one of like not the first shonens, but definitely one of the cornerstone shonens, and it is where the tournament arc comes from that all shonens have now. Mm-hmm. Fucking Dark Tournament took 2/3 of my anime runtime. All right, who wants to count us down for our final sprint of the night?
I will.
All right, let's go.
I do. And on and a go.
And we're back for a short time because I have to put the children to bed in a little bit. But how did we do that sprint?
I finished the movie, The Adam Project. If anyone looked up, they probably saw me grinning like an idiot. Thoroughly enjoyed myself.
I was discussing what A and B plots are with somebody and then went back to the list, and let me tell you, I'm like going through Cody's list and it's like Tu Wu Fong, and I'm like, okay, looked that up. It was in 1995 and it was like Tu Wu Fong, comma, and I'm like, okay, thanks for everything. Looked up thanks for everything. It's Tu Wu Fong, thanks for everything, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, okay, what's Julie Newmar? The full fucking title is Tu Wu Fong, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. And Cody, I needed you to put this in quotations so I didn't look up this movie 3 times. But it's fine. It's fine. We got through it.
It was a test.
It was a test. It's a test to see if I read the full title in Google's, because I failed twice. How did you do?
I was just scrolling on my phone.
Valid.
That's fair.
Oh god, it's almost 11.
Got ready to go to the gym. Sleepy puppies. I no longer remember what this was in. Hold on, let's go up.
The comment before it.
What is Truck-kun? And the super strong mage who only knows.
Tropes.
There was an Evangelion reference in a Disney show. I had it in it and I screamed. Coming in hot with those transmigration and reincarnation stories, but he never comes to hit me.
I mean, vibes, but...
Yes, a test. I misread something that it says Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and I misread that as the Angry Bitch, and I was like, what do you want? I don't think I can put that in the title. So, also question, it's not going to be on this June one, but
okay.
The Road to El Dorado, should that be an LGBTQ movie? Because it was originally written with the intention that Miguel and Tulio were in fact lovers.
It's a fantastic movie,
but they had to
and
take it
has
out.
heavy gay undertones. But the final product is not. I mean, it is, but it's not. I mean, I don't know.
That's one of those under the censor things, because I would like to do some older movies that had to only have gay undertones because of the Hays Code.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is that Hays Code?
The fact that it's not gay, but it is gay, then yes.
Because Elton John also does the entire soundtrack. See, but that's what I'm saying. It's the intention was for the movie was for them to be boyfriends and Tulio to be bi and all of that. And Elton John still did the whole ass soundtrack. The whole ass soundtrack is about nothing but relationships and the trail we blaze. But so
from what I remember in the movie, yeah, it reads as and they were best friends, and it's
they never say what they are. They never say that they're friends. They never say that they're best friends. They never label it.
No, the blonde just gets really annoyed when the brunette is with someone else.
He doesn't even care about that part, actually. He doesn't mind that they're together. No, he gets annoyed at Tulio because Tulio, So Miguel really likes where they're at, and he really likes that. He doesn't actually care that Tulio is sleeping with Chell. That never really bothers him, it seems, until, Tulio starts kind of being a dick to Miguel about it, and then Miguel wants to stay, and Tulio's like, no, we're not going to stay. And then I'm trying to remember, something happens that kind of pushes Miguel over the edge that Tulio doesn't care for him anymore.
And he goes to sleep on the boat.
Oh, it's the fake fight that they have. Because the fake fight that they have actually hits at several of Miguel's insecurities, and Tulio doesn't get that he's actually hurting Miguel, and then Miguel's like, I'm staying here as a god, motherfucker. But that's only if I'm remembering right. But yeah, like I said, that's one of those things where like the intention is different. Because like Mean Girls, that wasn't the intention of Mean Girls. Mean Girls was just supposed to be a campy movie pointing out societal issues with girlfriend groups and trying to like, talk about that in their own way and also make fun of Heathers. So, which was a musical. Whereas The Road to El Dorado, they wanted to.
Heathers, though.
They got censored. I've never seen Heathers. I need to, but
it's a movie, right? It was originally a movie.
Heathers? No, was it a movie or a musical first?
I think it was a movie.
I don't know what it was first, but I like the movie, so
I'm almost positive it was a movie first.
My husband is sleeping.
I watched the movie when I was probably too young to watch the movie. My dad's like, it's a classic. And I was like, I was young. I didn't understand what was going on that kind of young. Like, not quite getting it.
I loved it when I watched it, but I was not young when I watched it. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of movies when I was younger. I wasn't even allowed to watch Harry Potter.
Damn.
So it was a film, then a musical.
I think I had like watched Mean Girls at a sleepover, and then I came home. My dad's like, "You need to watch Heathers." These are different movies.
Heathers the movies, then Heathers the musical, then Heathers the cable TV show, and then another Heathers movie.
God.
I have not seen Heathers. Well, we can put it on the list if somebody wants to put it on the list. I'm lazy. I don't pick movies. I just ask people what they want to watch. Except maybe The Road to El Dorado. I might put that on my list. But I mean, yeah, I said I didn't want it to be a June movie, but I was just curious as to what everybody thought of it for where it sat. Because it's like Lost Boys. Sorry, I'm trying to put Road to El Dorado in alphabetical order, and I just went to the L's because I said Lost Boys, and I'm like, wait. That's not what I want to do. Road to El Dorado. On the list now. Yeah, Lost Boys was basically made with 100% of the intention of head vampire being pretty gay for the lead boy. Are you okay over there?
I was fighting a sticky note. It's fine. I won.
Yeah, I noticed that your poster today was well behaved.
Thank you. It has the Velcro.
You made it extra behave.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
The little shit.
All right, well, we got gets the going, so.
Why are we swapped now?
Because now it's your turn to go first for the outro.
It's the same as my intro.
Yeah, we do both here. The introduction and the outroduction. We might have different people now. They don't know who you are.
My name is Alexandria. I occasionally post YouTube videos about things, and occasionally I'm on streams. Sometimes.
Goodbye, I'm C.B. Ferrenz, fantasy writer, college student, teenager, and film major. And on my channel, I talk about those things come together, or rather, do not. You can find me linked below.
I just noticed that my shirt looks like it could blend in, but my curtains are like a silver color, and my shirt's green. So I don't know why they're matching. But CB could also like camouflage right up against that if she wanted.
Pull like a Sherlock Holmes type camouflage.
And I'm Writing Mom Samantha on Nasset. This is my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. Mondays, we sometimes do streams like this, or we do Let's Talks, where we talk about whatever I want to talk about, which lately is going to be movies and TV shows. We did The Mummy last month. We're doing Ghostbusters and Sailor Moon Black Dream Hole this month. And if you want to say in next month's, go to my community tab and give me some suggestions. My throat is very dry and I'm very tired, so I'm not going to go through the whole rest of the spiel. My website, everything is linked down below. If you're interested in live streams, the Worldwide Writeathon is recruiting hosts. The application should be down below. At the very least, it's in the link tree down below. Go find it. Go apply. Thank you all for coming. We had a good time. I have a Ko-fi down below. Ko-fi down below.
Give Sam money.
There you go. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.